Hello everybody, it is me, the Holy Commentator, and the longer this year goes on, the more disappointed I get in modern media. Usually I don't like to get political, but it seems like every company is intentionally trying to piss people off. The biggest flops of this year being Star Wars Acolyte, and of course, Concord. I think there needs to be a bigger discourse on why these things fail, because it seems like it is always twisted by media and online personalities. The farther we let these two groups push a stupid idea that everyone should easily be able to discern as being stupid, means the longer we have to deal with massive flops and dumbed down media. A show or a game having a terrible idea with terrible writing that was produced in a terrible way seems to always have an excuse nowadays if you add in a diverse cast. As I look at the current online discourse related to the issue, I see something that is far more concerning, a certain pattern that modern companies and media is pushing indirectly. So the plain milk drinkers and sweaty crayon eaters that continue to believe that everything they do is for a good cause they never even truly work to support is in vain, as the same problem they try and fix is the same problem they exacerbate. I truly think that the more these massive media companies try and push this diversity quota, is the more hate they push out to a wider audience, and only continues to grow bigger with every flop that relies on the excuse of purely on diversity. And this is exactly the problem I want to discuss in this video. So of course, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and let's discuss the two biggest flops and how they made people more hateful and racist. Now, Star Wars Acolyte didn't have much legs to stand on in the first place after the previous Star Wars flops that were released in the new Disney era of these films. However, the idea of an older generation of the Jedi Order and seeing the roots of where it came from seemed to be appealing enough to most people. Only after the first few episodes released, everyone found the problem. It's black people and lesbians, only that there were far too many of them, and it gave all my Confederate flag-wielding friends a massive scare, cause this is our country, damn it. We don't want that shit in my white Star Wars, and we don't want that shit to be tainted. But no, the problem was terrible writing, terrible characters. What is the plot again? Who's this guy? Oh, that is a cool Jedi Wookiee. Oh, now he's dead. Oh, this cast member basically told me to go fuck myself.
What do you want them to walk away with? Because I know everyone has a slightly different feeling.
Well, I mean, white people crying actually was the goal.
Are you sure about that?
Again, seriously, what is the plot? The Jedi are bad now. A bunch of lesbian space witches are doing weird kinky breathing magic. Isn't really how I remember Star Wars lore. And this guy just randomly game ended himself, and this guy shouldn't even be alive. And much more. Now, if you looked at any popular media or even critic reviews of this show, it seemed to be the complete opposite of what I just mentioned. Apparently, the critics thought this series was like this. Had some really good performances from a great cast and some of the best action sequences in any Star Wars show yet, and it's hard not to love the ambition of a big swing willing to open up the IP's true potential, or maybe something more like this.
The Acolyte is one of Star Wars' best on-screen series and expands the canon while keeping it rooted in the core of what the franchise is and what it can be.
I wonder who wrote the set. Oh, who would have thought? But with all the drama about the series, all the media drew one conclusion. Racism. Everyone who dislikes the show is now a racist. Middle-aged white mom cooking dinner didn't like the show. Racist. Grandma knitting his scarf for watching the show. Racist. I'm pretty sure if Martin Luther King watched the show and didn't like it, he'd be considered a racist too from how harshly the media outlets went on anyone who didn't like the show. It only continued further and further. The main actress on the show made a diss track or whatever, basically saying the reason the show didn't do too good was because of the wife-beater wearing Jack Daniel drinking racist. The producer of the show continued that line of thinking, and then the main actress came back again after the show was ended, saying that it was a racist who killed off the show once more. Now let's discuss the issue at hand here very quick. First of all, the show is obviously bad, which is the main starting point for why exactly many people did not find the show any good. Only after the show was bad did a lot of people start talking about how the show is being stuffed with diversity politics. Of course, there was a couple of things in the very beginning of some channels, but it only got worse when the show was bad. This is where the issue starts. People don't care about there being black actors in main roles. Hell, Samuel Jackson as Mace Windu is considered to be one of the best Jedi appearances in Star Wars. The problem is, if you have a track record of shoving it in for no reason, it's a forced idea that is continuing to be forced in every movie or show. No one wants to have it brought up every time that someone was black. Honestly, every show being like this is like having to continuously deep throat a big black dick. It's big, uncomfortable, and makes everyone else self-conscious. It's tired and everyone understands racism is bad. But the issue comes with how people respond to the issue.
If you didn't like this show, you're racist.
If you hear that every news show release, at one point you're going to say, fuck it looks like I'm a racist then. And instead of genuinely trying to understand a culture different from yours, you'll begin to resent and hate it. If every single time you even get close to discussing something you dislike that has any form of identity politics and get called a whatever ism or a phobe, why would I want to integrate or learn that culture? And what is stopping me from putting up my own wall and barrier around interacting with separate cultures to avoid being more ostracized? And of course, the issue continues on with the discussion surrounding Concord.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Now, Concord had no steam at all compared to Star Wars Acolyte. No one is really hyped for the game except for some high executives at Sony, apparently, as they bought the company Firewalk for over $100 million to $400 million. Holy shit, which dicks did Firewalk have to blow for that? Either way, they spent 8 years developing a game that couldn't even earn enough to fund an electricity bill on a microwave. The whole game made me so flaccid I'm pretty sure my penis shrunk permanently. And now, why do people not like this game? It's because of those pronoun thingies. Me and all my white cloak wearing friends can't have that in our hero shooter. We need some white guys with six packs, not country girls in bikinis. But again, no, it was bad character design with a very played out game type that truly had nothing else to differentiate itself from the 800 hero shooters that are out there on the market, and a very uninspired art style. Oh, and on top of that, you had to pay $40 for a game that is usually free. So no wonder they shut down and aborted this game faster than the average high school pregnancy. Now, what did the media and game devs say about it? You are racist and homophobic, and you are a bunch of talentless freaks. The last part was actually said directly, funnily enough. Even more funny is this is coming from the game devs who made under 1/100th of what Sony bought them for, and on top of that, the game didn't even last 11 days, so good show of talent out there, guys. Great job. But seriously, this continues from the issue before. People had many reasons to hate the game, but on top of those many reasons came the forceful hand of identity politics, which is the criticism that the media focused on. And here we are, full circle with the conclusion of Star Wars Acolyte. Why would I want to embrace and learn more about a community that is completely set on taking a wide list of valid criticism, throwing it in the trash, shitting on it, and throwing it into a homeless man's cardboard house and saying that it's because I'm a homophobe or I'm a racist? And as more of these situations are pushed out there, more and more communities begin to separate from each other. I believe the more we're able to talk and discuss whatever media we wish, and even open discourse to discuss those identity politics in a separate field, we'll get closer to limiting racism and homophobia. I've learned a lot more about cultures, ideas, and sexual preferences from being able to joke with my friends who are coming from said separate cultures about stereotypes of each group. And the only way we can open this discourse is through ending this stupid fucking idea, if you dislike one thing, you're a terrible person, which only builds those walls of hatred. And this is what modern media seems to develop. This is why I hate these kinds of TV series and shows being released only to stir up drama and continue to make the gaps wider between each group. Even outside the media, the issue persists in any field today. If you have one differing opinion on any side, you are either a right-winger who hates every race and gender and wants to go on a genocide, so hand him a fucking mustard gas and closed off room, or you're a stupid libtard with a tiny dick and no friends, making trying to understand a topic more hostile and less appealing. And as a side note, I am certain that the more you're able to make edgy jokes about stereotypes, the closer you get to breaking down that stupid no man's ground between races and shit. People think it makes you more racist, but I believe you can actually make a funny edgy joke about a restricted topic like racism means you are less racist because you can understand the stereotype and topic enough to make fun of it and extract the irony and humor from a stupid idea and ideology. But that's just my opinion. These media companies need to stop pushing the idea that everyone is racist or homophobic or sexist if you don't enjoy a shitty piece of media. They need to stop using political issues as a shield for bad design and as a shield against any type of valid criticism. And whatever side of the political spectrum you are on, you should be able to understand that the companies that try and use racism and homophobia as an excuse are arguably more racist and homophobic as they lack the understanding to truly care about such issues in the first place. And with all the types of film and gaming flops that have come out that have the same tired excuse, reinforce the idea presented in this video. We can truly do nothing about it except avoid clickbait articles and what seems like purposely bad media being made for rage clicks and views. No matter how unsuccessful they've been, they still make more of them, so something has to be working for them. On top of all this, it seems like in the past, diversity in gaming was never an issue. Every game before 2016 seemed to have quite a bit of diversity, and not many people complained about it. Why? Because the games were good and diversity wasn't forced. One example I can think of is Dead Island, which has the most diverse cast. A black woman, a black man, an Asian woman, and finally a slightly crippled alcoholic white guy. The characters may have followed some stereotypes, yes, but it was never forced. There was no moment in Dead Island where Sam B turns to the camera and said, "These white zombies racist, homie. We need to end racism, man. Shit." You know, another example of a good game with a diverse cast is Tomb Raider. Even the more modern games that focus less on Laura's sex appeal seem to do quite well and were quite popular. Not every moment in the game does Lara Croft turn to the camera and say, "I bet you men playing this game couldn't raid tombs and murder innocent people the way I can as a woman with a vagina." Hell, even Gears of War had a diverse cast in the original trilogy. You had 2 white guys, a hyperactive, dope-ass black football quarterback, and a Mexican. Of course, the characters changed throughout the series to an even more diverse cast, but nobody complained. Again, why is this? Because the games were fucking good. If you make a good game with a good premise, with good execution, people will play the game and won't nitpick. The same goes for film. A great example of a film that has diversity is Paranorman. This guy in Paranorman mentions once that he is gay.
Nothing scary.
That sounds great, Kathy. You know, you're gonna love my boyfriend. He's like a total chick flick nut.
And it was natural. It wasn't specified every time that he was gay. He didn't have gay superpowers over any straight guy in the film because he was a powerful gay man. The only people who care about diversity in gaming are the same people that are either genuinely racist or acting like they aren't racist while looking at everything through a biased colored lens that made themselves feel good. So later on, when they go home and jerk into the fact they did nothing for the world but felt like they did. Now, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. This is me, the Holy Commentator, signing off for now.